Nestled in a valley where three streams merge to form the Little Blue River lies English, Indiana.
It's one of the last old-time towns around.
I remember when it was a little bustling town.
First settled in the early 1800s, it wasn't bustling until the railroad arrived 80 years later.
Well, it used to be. It was a wonderful place. It was all farmers or else railroaders. I could hear a train. I could tell you what time it was or what signal it was blowing for.
This is small town life. This is what John Mellencamp talks about with the song, I was born in a small town, you know it. This is what he was talking about.
It was all here. We had everything.
That was the Kern Hashman department store.
2 or 3 restaurants, theater.
Maggie Bennett's dress shop.
This was a soda shop and a drugstore.
Across the street here, had been a whiskey store and a honky-tonk.
Of course, that for many years was where I shopped. It says English Market. It was the JC store.
There used to be a dance hall about half a mile down the railroad track. There was an old dance hall. And let's see what else was here.
Bank on the corner.
I haven't got you down to that end of the town yet. Do you want to go down there too?
You think how much of my past and my memories are located just in this, what, 1 mile square?
I was used to going downtown about 5 o'clock in the morning and sitting drinking coffee for 2 or 3 hours with the boys and find out all the news and what's going on. But you can't do that anymore, and you miss that.
Now it's gone.
It gives you an empty feeling inside and gives you an empty feeling to look at it. It's just empty.
It's hard to say goodbye.
The old town as we knew it's not there anymore.
The town is dead.
There's absolutely nothing here.
Because nothing could stop the floods.
It flooded a little bit every year. I mean, every year. Water was up in town every year, but that'd gone on for 100 years, you know.
Each time the raging water engulfed the town, a part of English went with it, eventually eroding the community's spirit to rebuild.
I've been through 2 pretty bad floods here. The first time was 7 feet and the second time was 3.5 feet. We don't want any more. I don't want any more.
Unable to turn the tide, English ran out of time.
It's like a friend dying a slow death.
It's been a slow process, I'd say probably since the 59 flood and then the 79 flood, and then this last one in 90 just finished it.
While the worst flooding occurred in 1979, it was a flash flood on June 7, 1990, that dealt the fatal blow.
Half as much water and done twice as much damage. Floods are pretty bad. They take out all of your cherished memories.
If you have a fire, you sweep away the ashes and start over again. In a flood, you save everything you can. You go through it every day, and every day you throw something away, and finally you throw it all away and start again.
Is English 2-11-3-94.
We were doomed. Our downtown was doomed.
The beginning of the end for English, Indiana came with the 1979 flood.
We were literally wiped out, but we just swept her away and started over again.
It was termed a 100-year flood, and we didn't think it would happen again. And then, of course, in 1990, when it did happen again, there were those who felt that the only way to save the town was to move it.
You don't have a choice in it. You just got to move on because the town was condemned.
The government came in and said you couldn't rebuild because of insurance reasons, and that's why.
After the 1990 flood, a community weary from fighting Mother Nature gave up the struggle.
At the time of the flood, we were very vulnerable, and there were people who'd lost a lot and wanted to see something done and needed it done quickly.
The people of English decided their best move would be to drier ground. The majority of residents approved a plan that would condemn the homes and businesses in the floodplain and establish a new downtown 2 miles away.
Yeah, they should be building quite a bit next year. I don't think they're going to build no more besides these this year. Going to post some double wides in here.
It's been 4 years since English started its uphill move. Since then, 15 businesses have been demolished.
That's all just level. It's all gone now.
And relocated in the new addition.
we'll just move on, higher grounds.
Families with homes in the floodplain will soon follow.
I just think the move's going to be the greatest thing that ever happened to them, and I think in time they'll look back and say they're glad we did it.
While a new English is being carved out of the Indiana wilderness, those who remain in the old town either await the federal funds to move or refuse to go.
Didn't I say I didn't think I was going to move?
Temple Reel has lived most of his life on East 5th Street.
If you lived a place 35, 40 years and your dad lived there, and you've known about other people lived up and down in here for 75 years, what do I want to move for? You see any reason I need to move?
Even those in favor of the move have second thoughts.
People would call me and say, well, Susan, they're going to move the town. It's never going to be the same. And I was the one saying, yes, we're still going to have each other. It's going to be the same. It's going to be the same. But I wonder, I don't know, will it?
With the new town, you know, we have the hopes of something better, and our children will create their memories there. But for the older people and for those of us who grew up here, there's a part of us that's gone.
Will we carve memories out up there like we have carved here? I don't know.
You got to look ahead. You can't look back and think what it used to be. You've got to think about what it's going to be.
You just learn to accept it down here. You know that something else is better because you don't want to go through this again.
The next time Camp Fork Creek becomes a river, what was once English will be history. For Temple Reel, the future will remain in the past, in the place that he calls home.
Simply put, the residents of English, Indiana have had it with periodic flooding which has significantly damaged their town.
Our contention is that it's happened in the past, it's going to happen again.
The threat of this scene repeating itself prompted English residents to sign petitions asking Indiana and the federal government to pay for relocating the town to this nearby area out of the floodplain. Today, representatives of several state agencies met to discuss the project, estimated to cost between $6 and $7 million. It will be no small task. About 100 homes, 30 businesses, and 8 public buildings must be either moved or demolished, and state officials want to be sure the relocation is a wise investment. To measure public commitment to such a move, financial profiles of each English resident will be conducted during the coming weeks.
We have to ensure that there's a commitment from the town and that the people of the town want to move to where they're talking about being relocated. We want to ensure that there is a town at the end of this project and that people just don't say, okay, well, I'll move somewhere else instead.
A recommendation on the proposal should go to Governor Evan Bayh this September for a decision on whether to move ahead with the move.
One key question in all of this is how much it'll cost the state of Indiana. Officials say they don't know yet because the numbers keep fluctuating, but they say $500,000 to say $750,000 they could probably handle. Much more than that could be a financial problem. In Indianapolis, Neil Moore, Wish TV, News 8.